Hi guys, welcome back to the Armchair Verdict and welcome if it's your first time here. Thank you for watching the video today. In this video, I'm going to be giving you my top 5 current boxers under the age of 30 years old. Now, I've been wanting to make this video for a little while and it feels like the perfect time to give it to you after the disaster which we saw in Times Square, an event which was supposed to showcase some of the young talent and guys that are supposed to be the future of this sport that we love. It was a disaster, and it seems like with a lot of these young fighters, there's a lot more talking than walking, a lot more tweeting than beatings. As a 38-year-old man who fell in love with this sport due to gaining admiration for warriors like Iron Mike Tyson, Evander Holyfield, Lennox Lewis, Nigel Benn, Chris Eubank Sr., I often find myself falling out of love for the sport when I see some of the things that go on in the present day of boxing. But there are some young fighters in the game that keep me interested and keep me in love with this sport. So in this video, I want to dedicate some time and show some love to those guys. The way this is going to work, I'm going to be counting down from 5 to 1. And then at the end of the video, I'm going to give you my sort of list of men that nearly made the cut, honourable mentions if you will. So stick around to see who got the number 1 spot and who didn't quite make the cut. So let's get into it. Number 5 on my list is Virgil Ortiz, 27-year-old with 23 wins and 0 losses. This guy, I love everything he represents. An all-action throwback fighter, come forward, exciting fighting style, chasing the biggest challenges, a guy that's happy to take a punch to give a punch. Take my money when Virgil Ortiz is fighting, because I'm going to be tuning in every single time. I know I'm going to be entertained. Even if he wins, loses or draws, this is a man who doesn't hold back in the ring. One thing that really excites me about Virgil Ortiz is the division that he's in. What I believe to be probably the most exciting division in boxing right now. The super welterweight division. There's so many big matchups that can be made for him there. He's already fought Sergey Boychuk and Israel Madrimov, 2 top fighters. And then you've also got Tim Tszyu, Sebastian Fundora. If Jamel Charlo decides to show his face again, that's a fight that can potentially be made. Not forgetting Bakram Murtazaliev, the Russian who destroyed Tim Tszyu last year. So there's some really exciting matchups for Virgil Ortiz, and I think the future's bright for him. This is a guy who I love watching fight, and I can't wait to see what's coming next and where his career goes. So Virgil Ortiz, number 5. Number 4 on my list is Jai Opetaia. Now, this is a guy who I really love. 27-0. At the time of recording this video, he is 29 years old. Jai Opetaia, IBF Cruiserweight Champion. I love everything about this guy. He's just no nonsense. He can box, he can bang. When he burst onto the scene, if you will, he was not very well known. He was the mandatory challenger for Maris Bradis, who was at the time the IBF Cruiserweight Champion and consensus best cruiserweight in the division. Jai Opetaia got his jaw broke in the 3rd round, but still managed to fight through the fire and win the fight and shock the world. And then, just to prove it wasn't a fluke, he gave Maris Bradis a rematch a little while later and still managed to beat him again by decision comfortably. He's had scary knockouts in the cruiserweight division, showing that he's got power and he can make it ugly and he can knock you out if he needs to. He can do it all, and he's got this slogan that I've heard him use. It's called Chasing Pain, and I love that. It's just gritty, it's old school, and he's a scary looking guy. Like, I'm not someone who's easily intimidated, but let's say I was in the nightclub and I had my vodka and cranberry and I turned around and accidentally bumped into someone and spilt my vodka and cranberry onto the white shirt of another patron, and then looked up and saw Jai Opetaia's face staring back at me. I think a little bit of fear would kind of creep into my soul, and I would hope that this guy is a forgiving human being, because he doesn't look like the kind of guy you want to mess with or you want any trouble with. But Jai, I love it. I love everything about him. I love his fighting style, I love his attitude, I love his mindset. He's a guy that stays active, chasing the biggest challenges, And I think the plan with him is to eventually move up to heavyweight, which is something I'm really excited to see. So number 4, Jai Opataya. Number 3 on my list is going to be none other than the Mexican monster, David Benavidez. Now, David Benavidez is 30-0 with 24 KOs. At the moment, he's only 28 years old. It's hard to believe that he's under 30 because he's been in the game such a long time. David Benavidez has won me over. He was someone a few years ago I wasn't too sure about. I wasn't sure if he was disciplined or serious enough to make it to the elite level and stay at that level. Clearly a guy that had ability, but he's a 2-time world champion. A 2-time former world champion who's never lost his belt in the ring. He lost his belt due to missing weight and poor lifestyle choices. So I thought, is this guy really going to take his career seriously, or is he just a bit of a joker? But nah, David Benavidez has proved me wrong. In the last few years, he's knuckled down, he's got focused, he hasn't missed weight, he's kept his nose clean, and he's chased all the biggest challenges and all the biggest tests he can find, and he's passed them with flying colours. He's beat Demetrius Andrade, Caleb Plant, David Morrell. And the David Morrell fight is a fight I really respect because Morrell hasn't had many fights, doesn't really have a huge profile. He's a bit of a boogeyman who's quite avoided. But David Benavidez went looking for him and said, yeah, I want you to prove that he was the man. And that's the kind of thing I respect. You know, old school fighter, who's the toughest guy I can fight, give him to me. I do feel sorry for David Benavidez a little bit because he's been badly avoided over the last few years. For whatever reason, Canelo Alvarez, who's supposed to be the face of boxing, doesn't want any part of David Benavidez and avoided him for years. Now we've got David Benavidez competing at the light heavyweight weight limit, and it looks like Bivol and Beterbiev are going to have a third fight, and David Benavidez is getting shunned again. No one's giving him his shot. I really, really hope he gets his shot at Bivol or Beterbiev, pardon me, because he deserves it. This guy is someone who can carry the sport and be a real advocate, a face of boxing if given the opportunity. And he deserves the opportunity. His fighting style, it's quite deceiving. To some it might look like he's quite flat-footed and slow and sloppy, but he's effective. He comes forward, he lets his hands go, blistering combinations, he closes off the ring, cuts off the ring well, solid chin, he can take punishment, and this is a guy that needs to be given a world title opportunity and thrust into the limelight because he deserves it and he can be a star. He's someone that represents boxing in the right way. So number 3 on my list, David the Mexican monster Benavidez. Number 2 on my list is none other than Triple D, Daniel Dubois. Now, Daniel Dubois is only 27 years old, the IBF heavyweight champion with a record of 22 wins and 2 losses. Daniel was another guy similar to David Benavidez, who I wasn't too sure about if he was going to make it to that elite level, if he was going to be able to be that star in boxing that he was being groomed to be. I followed his career very closely from very early on. I believe I was live at his 2nd or 3rd fight of his career, and I've seen him fight live about 4 or 5 times, including his last fight against Anthony Joshua at Wembley Stadium, where he shocked the world and totally annihilated Joshua. Daniel, he's an interesting one. He had the loss against Joe Joyce, and the nature in which he lost, a lot of people said he quit. Then there was a suspect performance against Kevin Lorena, who was a little-known cruiserweight, and everyone's thinking, ooh, maybe Daniel Dubois isn't what people are saying he is. And then he lost to Usyk in that controversial fight, and people said he quit again. I'm like, yeah, I don't know about Daniel. Is he going to be that guy? Is he going to be the next heavyweight sensation? I'm not so sure. But he turned it all around. I mean, he got back-to-back stoppage losses in 3 fights where he was the underdog against Philippe Hrgovic, Jarrell Miller, and Anthony Joshua. And that's no joke. And he's looked a much better fighter under Don Charles. It seems like something switched mentally. Don Charles and his coaching team have managed to tap into something mentally, just give him that extra belief, that extra grit, that extra determination, and he's turned into a monster. He's always had the physical attributes, but now mentally it seems to have all aligned. And yeah, Daniel looks like a killer. and he looks like someone who can have a bright future in the sport. There's plenty of exciting matchups for him. He's got Alexander Usyk coming up next. Be interesting to see if that's much different to the first fight. But however that fight goes, there's still many exciting matchups in the future for him. And he's someone that's always going to guarantee an entertaining night of boxing. He's got dynamite in his hands. He's got an incredible jab. He's a big, strong, powerful fighter that on his day can punish any opponent that stands in front of him. So number 2 on my list, Daniel Dynamite Dubois. Now, the one you've all been waiting for, number 1, top of the list. Who's it going to be that I name the number 1 boxer under 30 years old? It is none other than Jesse Bam Rodriguez. Now, what do I say about Jesse Bam Rodriguez? 25 years old, 21-0, multi-weight world champion. I'm going to try and keep this short and sweet because I could talk about this kid all day long. He is phenomenal. He's the fighter I'm most excited about in boxing. Anytime he's fighting, I want to tune in and I want to watch. I want to see what's going to happen in the Bam fight. He is someone that could make the lower weights, the glamour divisions of boxing. I really think of him that highly. I mean, I remember when he fought with Sonny Edwards, and this was supposed to be a 50-50 fight, a pick'em fight. He went in there and he looked levels above Sonny Edwards. And I'm a big fan of Sonny Edwards, but I had to take my hat off and just applaud Bam and say, yo, you're the one, you're the man, you're him. He's got wins against like Estrada and Saur Rungvisai, legends of the sport, and comfortable wins as well. And he's the kind, if he gets knocked down, he just gets back up and he goes after you. And he's incredible. This kid, if you watch Jesse Bam Rodriguez, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And if you don't watch Jesse Bam Rodriguez, after seeing this video, go into your YouTube, go and find some highlights, try and find some fights. Trust me, you will not be disappointed. Next time he's fighting, tune in. I don't care if it's pay-per-view or you need to pay to subscribe. You will be entertained. This is an elite boxer, a skillful boxer, a boxer with power that's gonna excite you and entertain you. He's the real deal. And I can't, like I said, I'm trying to keep this short and sweet because I can talk about him all day. He's amazing. Hopefully one day down the line we can see him fight Chocolate Tito, Roman Gonzalez. That's probably the only legend that's missing from the collection so far. And if it can work, if he can go up in weight and they can find an agreement, him against Naoya Inoue would be fantastic box office fight. If that happens, I would have to find a way to get a ticket and watch it live because I know it's going to be an instant classic. So that's my number 1, Jesse Bam Rodriguez. As for my honourable mention for fighters who didn't quite make the list, well, there's a few. Moses Atalma, the young British heavyweight, very good fighter. He looks the part. He looks like someone who could be a real factor in boxing in the future. A lot of people speak very highly about him. The only reason he doesn't make my list is because I don't think he's quite done enough yet. He hasn't been tested at the highest level yet. He's passed every test he's faced, but it's not against elite or top opposition like the other guys that I've named in this list. So he's not quite ready for the list yet, but he's definitely someone I'm keeping my eye on. Another fighter also is Jaron Boots Ennis. Jaron Ennis, amazing fighter, very skillful, very skillful, powerful, great movement, footwork, slick, great defense, great combinations, accuracy. I love everything he represents, but it still hasn't been tested at that highest level yet. He beat Stanionis, which is a great win, but I feel sorry for him. He's in the welterweight division at a time where the welterweight division is probably weaker than it has been for many years. And the other champions are very reluctant to unify with him because they don't want to take the risk. And this is what I mean about these young boxers. They don't want to risk it all for greatness. Boots is willing to, but they don't want to dance with him. So I'm hoping he gets the right opponent, the right dance partner, so he can solidify his greatness. Maybe he has to go up to 154 with Virgil Ortiz and fight some of the other fighters that I named earlier in the video. Maybe that's where he'll make his name. But I hope he gets the right dance partner soon. Another fighter who might surprise a few people is Shakur Stevenson. Now, Shakur Stevenson is a funny one. A lot of people say he's boring, pillow fists, not very entertaining, but he is very skilled. And I do believe with the right fighters who are willing to engage with him, who are willing to take risks, he can be an exciting fighter and he can fully display his skill set and look like an elite, exciting fighter. Unfortunately for him, I think when he does meet a lot of these guys, they're just sort of there to survive and make it ugly. And his style doesn't mesh well with that. He's not very heavy-handed. He's not a brawler. He's not a come-forward fighter. He's very technical. He's a counter-puncher. And he just needs the right dance partners. I think if you see him in with Gervonta Davis, for instance, he would look like a beast and it would change everyone's perception of him. But until he gets that opportunity, we're not really going to see that. So while I like Shakur, I respect his skills, he's not a top 5 fighter for me in this list. He's not someone I'm like, oh my God, when's the Shakur fight? I can't wait to see him fight again. It's just not there for me. And he does display some of the traits which I've spoken about that I don't like in younger fighters. I remember when he got some criticism, he tweeted and said he retired. I didn't really like all that. So yeah, we need to sort that out, Shakur, but definitely got a bright future. Another one, Teofimo Lopez. I mean, on his night, he's a phenomenal boxer. The performance against Lomachenko was amazing. But then there's other performances which aren't so amazing. You see the Kambosos fight, for instance, and it's just a bit up and down with Teofimo. You don't know which Teofimo is going to show up on the night. And there's a lot of antics that come with him. He's trying to be an entertainer all the time, do the backflips, wearing masks and making jokes at press conferences. It's cool to be an entertainer, but don't forget this is boxing, man. And in the ring is really where you endear yourself to the public and make a name for yourself. But Teofimo Lopez, another honourable mention. But yeah, that's my top 5, that's my honourable mentions, boxers under 30 years old. So people, let me know what you think. Do you agree with my top 5? Do you disagree with my top 5? Do you think some people are too high on the list or too low on the list? Are there people that should be on the list that I haven't included? Are there people that are on the list that you would take off? Let me know in the comments. Put your top 5 fighters under 30 in the comments and let me know your thoughts. I think this was a really interesting discussion. I'd like to hear what everyone else has to say. But that's it from me on this video, and I'll see you on the next one.